Let's do some chills.
Wherever you can do, wherever you can manifest your energy with. Jesus.
Two orbs float overhead, followed by a loud noise that makes Sean jump.
Orbs are always, will always, and have always been insects or aerated material, like aerosol spray or smoke or dust, insects, cobwebs. They will never be ghosts.
The next month, they get more paranormal evidence that the house is haunted.
Oh, so this is their haunted house? Because it seems like you stated in your exposition that I deleted because it was so irrelevant, that this was a haunted house that they were visiting. Is this an Airbnb that they're pretending is haunted? Because I hear a lot of ghost hunters seem to be doing that.
This time in the basement, when a hideous ghost face appears on a night vision camera in the window at 2 a.m.
Surprise, it's been a while since I started recording this particular video. A hideous face, he says. A hideous face. It looks like laser damage on the optical sensor. It's a circle. I don't see a face.
There's also some kind of light anomaly at the very beginning of this video that could be an apparition. Light shouldn't be reflecting off of anything in a dark basement, so this is bizarre.
Imagine that you individualize every pixel in this 1080 by 1920 video, right? These abnormalities that you're seeing in their video is a case of some very strong point of light. Welding light destroys cameras, laser pointers destroy cameras, infrared flashlights destroy cameras, black lights can destroy cameras, you know what I mean? So, some of the pixel sensors on the CMOS sensor are damaged. But if you take a grid and you imagine that every pixel is its own grid, and expand every pixel slightly so that they kind of overlap, you get what a CMOS sensor is kind of doing. It's taking in light, but they overlap so that the information can overwrite and join together seamlessly. So what's happened is one or more of the sensor's electronic light detecting diodes has been damaged, and it's being compensated by other ones. But every time the camera refreshes the scene, the static scene gets paused, as I like to say. Every time it refreshes the scene, that little sensor momentarily gets a blip of information, which is why that circle appears. It's just a artifact of a damaged sensor on the night vision camera due to rapid exposure of too much light, so that it can't turn the sensitivity down and then damages the sensor.
And 5 years later, the Odyssey Paranormal Society continues to make ghost hunting videos that are beyond creepy.
Beyond creepy is ultimately debatable, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
They are exploring the second floor of an abandoned home when they stop for a moment to try and communicate with the other side.
Could you make a noise? But that was okay.
That sounded absolutely nothing like a woman's scream. What it sounded like was somebody dragging a table over linoleum. No way that was a woman's scream.
It doesn't sound like an animal, and it doesn't sound like passing traffic. This is the voice of a ghostly woman screaming her answer.
Actually, he's got a point with that traffic idea. I mean, he doesn't. It's the opposite of a point because there's actually a point to it. Did it not sound like it could have been a squeaky set of bicycle brakes? Maybe it's damp outside. Somebody's riding pretty fast. They squeeze the brakes. Listen to it again, but close your eyes and imagine somebody pulling the brakes on a bike. They're too fat for the bike too, so like the brakes are working extra hard. I know you've heard it. I know you've heard this sound before. If you live anywhere near a city with cyclists, just close your eyes and listen to it again.
Like.
I would have to suspend my disbelief from the Burj Khalifa to believe that that was a woman's scream.
This home in Bethel, Washington, has been overtaken by an evil force that refuses to go away.
Have you tried asking politely?
Paranormal experts from all over the world have been baffled by their findings, like this team, for example.
I have been neck deep in the paranormal community and world, looking through videos every day since I was 16 years old. Number one fascination. Never once believed in ghosts. Absolutely love the fake ghost videos. Every single one's a puzzle. I have never heard of these people. So if they were being contacted by ghost hunters from around the world, surely they should have come across my plate at some point. I'm talking like there was a good solid stretch of 10 or 11 years where I watched nothing but paranormal content. I've never heard of these people.
First, motion sensors repeatedly detect movement in areas where nothing is visible to the eye. What's especially weird is how the tripwires stop beeping whenever the investigators are near. Grunts, growls, and strange laughter echo throughout the house as well. Here's an example of the same laugh caught on multiple cameras.
You maybe direct it a little bit better.
That sounded like somebody left a TV on somewhere, not an EVP.
No. You maybe direct us what?
It sounds like they've added this sound in post. It's the clarity of the microphone. So if you imagine like, nope, I messed that up. Give me a second. So the initial voice that you're hearing right here,
You maybe direct us what?
it's less resonant. So imagine that you're speaking next to this bottle. So the echo is less because you've got the liquid in here that's stifling it. There are bodies in the room with these voices that are softening the vocal lines. Listen again.
You maybe direct us what?
There's like barely any echo. So their voice, so he's speaking towards somebody who's wearing clothing, and his voice, the reverb of his voice is being absorbed by the clothing of the person he's talking to. But now listen to the other EVP. You hear the echo that's now in this audio. This particular voice line is 100% being recorded at a different time when there are less soft objects in the room to cut down on the reverb. So when you're looking at these two audio lines, or when you're listening to these two audio lines, you have to be very, very particular in how they sound. Because this,
You maybe direct us what?
they're way different. Echo, no echo. Different rooms, same microphone. Audio's been added in post.
All of the noises sound like they are the right distance away in each shot, so this is probably real.
Another piece of evidence to prove that Chills has no fucking idea what he's talking about.
South Korean ghost hunter UNEXPLAINED has caught some really weird things on tape while exploring this abandoned house of spirits.
It's his cadence, I think, that really... I have to listen to what he says like 3 or 4 times because his cadence is unmistakable yet entirely forgettable.
His method of ghost hunting is to pretend he does not believe in the spirits, which he hopes will anger them enough to show themselves one way or another.
어차피 니들이 나한테 물건 던지고 뭘 한다고 한들 다 바람이라고 생각할 거야.
I like this guy. That's hilarious.
자, EVP 녹음기 한번 해볼게요, 형님들. 녹음을 해보고 일단 그 다음에 좀 잘 맞아 들어간다고 하면 고스트박스는 켜봐.
I had to add the subtitles. If they're wrong, it's my fault. I added the subtitles and then used Google Translate. It's Korean. I want to know what this guy is saying all the time. That first line that I heard, cold open, hilarious. More of that, please. He's probably not wrong about the wind for that one, by the way.
Uniswoon verifies the paranormal activity in this haunted place with other ghost hunter equipment. It's creepy, but notice there seems to be a lot of wind judging from the way this material is flapping.
This has actually presented me with a unique opportunity to explain something to you. Here in my hand I have an EMF detector. This detects electromagnetic fields and ambient static voltage. So if I bring it over here, you'll see that there's a large spike in the voltage, the bleed in this area because of some unshielded cables to my left. But over here, you'll see that there is no signal because there is no unshielded cables on my right. Don't worry about the unshielded cables. It's for a project I'm working on for my own lighting setup and everything. By the way, unshielded, this is a good way of finding out where you're going to have interference in your microphone if you're building a studio. So, as we see here, there is no interference, and in my left hand, I have a magnet. It's the bottom number that makes the other EMF detector that he's holding go off, okay? Every time you see somebody with those EMF detectors and they get like a 4 or a 5 and they're like, oh my god, there's activity over here. Remember that ferrous materials and magnetic materials make that shit go off. Any magnetized or magnetizable surface, any iron, wrought iron, anything that's grounded will make an EMF detector go off. See? EMF detectors are bullshit. I've got this thing muted. You want to hear what it sounds like when it's not muted? It's fucking annoying. Noise canceling. Don't worry about it. It's annoying.
I was wondering if a strong breeze could set off this motion detector. Let me know.
Depends on how sensitive it is, and it depends on how much aerated material there is. Like, for instance, that could make it go off. A motion detector also goes off from wind blowing dust around and dirt. So yes, it can.
The investigator is very thorough and further confirms this place is haunted with facial recognition software.
People's faces come in all shapes and sizes, and to be as fair as possible to every face type on the planet, the system is set very sensitively to ensure that everybody can have an equal experience with facial recognition software like Snapchat filters. It is not a face detection system, it is a face hallucination system.
와, 씨발 대박. 문 앞쪽에 여기 있네. 지금 야 밑에 밑에 하나 더. 야 뭐야. 야 애기도 있어?
After his camera detects a face, it starts to flash green where it just was. Is this strange glitch a sign of residual paranormal energy?
No, not really. It's an issue with the program trying to draw the face on there. But moreover, I want you to know that you can selectively change the color of things in the scene. Like, check it out. I'll make my wall a different color. Pretty neat, huh?
This is also an object moving back and forth on the door in its wake, although that could be the wind.
Yes, it's definitely wind. Look. You see the bit in the middle of the doorway at the top? It's wind.
When he moves the phone over the stroller, he sees a spirit protecting it. It's not from just one angle either. It's whenever it passes over the object, which makes me think this ghost sighting video's real. I guess even the spirit world is protective of its young.
Come on, you can very clearly see why this is hallucinating that face. Look at the organization of the materials. It looks like a nose. It's just being fair.
Do you believe our loved ones never leave us?
As long as they stay up here, they're always going to be here. Other than that, unfortunately, they don't stick around.
Published by Seth Ponder in April of 2014, The Spirit of a Grandma Wants a Cookie. Ponder writes, Sarah was making Lois's cookies for cousin Jenny while listening to the Rat Pack, Lois's favorite, when the lights flashed many times. Lois is, I presume, Sarah's grandma who passed away. The security camera captures the activity as Sarah nonchalantly acknowledges the lights are doing it again. The couple thinks she is trying to communicate with them through the lights. Is grandma working in mysterious ways, or does this house have an electrical issue? Honestly, the first option is way better.
See, the problem with that video was that he set up the camera and then left the room. Then the lights flickered. Then he came back in the room and grabbed the camera. So he set up the camera specifically to record the lights flickering, which means he's the one that made the lights flicker. That's deductive reasoning. Capitalizing on the passing of a loved one. Classy. This one starts rough because there was a bunch of flashing lights and I don't feel like giving my audience epileptic seizures.
Investigator sharing his story on YouTube since May 2017. He has traveled to some of the most terrifying locations in Russia to document evidence of ghosts and other bizarre phenomena. By popular request, he returned to a home he had previously investigated.
I've got nothing to say. I just need to interject so it doesn't seem like I'm stealing Chill's video. But he's stealing all of their videos, so... meh. I'm gonna do what he's doing. Listen for the knock. Crazy, huh?
He ventures to the kitchen to investigate, where he is greeted by a door swinging open on its own.
When your view doesn't show the bottom of the door, I have to assume there's a string attached to it.
The room the door leads to is full of junk and what appears to be a table and bed frame, but nobody is inside. Curiously, there is a trapdoor to the attic, which he decides to later investigate.
How is that curious?
When he gathers the courage to return, he discovers evidence that a box under the bed was moved, as seen by the disturbance in the dust on the ground.
Jesus Christ, I bet Chills just feels like Sherlock Holmes at this point.
Moments after this discovery, he is startled by the same noise under the second bed to his left. He briefly retreats outside to compose himself and eventually returns to the living room. Once again, nothing happens for some time until he goes to retrieve another piece of equipment.
Так, мне нужно сейчас будет ИГФ.
What's with the glaring cut, man? Can't explain that. I can't explain it. I have no idea what's going on. It's probably the most interesting piece of paranormal evidence I've ever seen. I will definitely be showing this to my brother. So, Please like the video if you like the video. Subscribe if you want to see more. Click one of these two videos here on the left, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Love you.